I got a distinction for Afrikaans. You asked for the video. Now, here it is.
I would like to get to know it could be.
My previous video was a video of my results, right? I showed my matric results and it had a very good review. First of all, I'd like to thank y'all. I remember when I posted the video, I was on my road to 200 subscribers, and on the day of posting this, of recording this video, I am on 350 subscribers. People, thank you. Like, the support that I'm getting, it's massive. And to think at some point I was with 18 subscribers asking myself if I'll ever get to 50, and here I am doing what I'm doing, and it's inspiring people, it's interesting. I'm glad, I'm happy, you know. From the comment sections of my previous video, you should watch that video. I don't know, I'll link it there if I have to, but yeah. From my previous video, I found comments of people asking me to make a video saying how I got a distinction for Afrikaans. So after some time of scripting down the tips that I used to use and stuff to move from whatever percentage of Afrikaans to getting a distinction in my final matric year, I have a particular set of points that I hope will work for you, because I believe that they do work. So stick around, stick around. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you, this is the most important tip when it comes to Afrikaans. Okay, I think it's the second most important, but it is the most important for most of us. So, okay, the worst case, which I believe most people who are doing Afrikaans first additional language find themselves being in, the worst case is knowing the answers, like having studied, knowing the answers to a novel, to whatever, and you can't apply your answers because you don't understand the question itself, right? So in this video, I'm just going to discuss Afrikaans paper 1, because the tips that I have for paper 1 in itself are a lot, and if this video gets 100 likes, then I sure will do paper 2 and stuff on request. And so yeah, my first point is you need to learn your question words. Words like waar, waarheen, waarom, hoekom, even things like verduidelijk. You know, when they say verduidelijk, you know, they say explain. But if you don't know that, then when they say verduidelijk, you just write, I don't know what people write. But like, you need to know your question words. You need to know when they say waaroor, then what are they saying? When they say waarheen, when they say waarvoor, all those, like, if you learn your question words and you know them clearly, because Afrikaans is like an interview, I tell you. Afrikaans is like an interview, especially first additional language. There's nothing easier than Afrikaans first additional language in terms of languages, because English home language, those who do it, it's fine. They know. So with Afrikaans, it's like wie is mang KOKETSO, var what KOKETSO, like, it's, the questions are even 1 mark. It's very scarce to see a 2-mark question in Afrikaans. You find them in your comprehensions, the second last or the last question. And with Afrikaans, from the first question of your comprehension, your 1.1, to the last, the difficulty level keeps increasing and increasing. The first question can be, who is the name of the main character in the comprehension? You just go there, you look for the name, you write it down. The second question will be, where do they live? Which school are they in? They will never ask you something that's not in the comprehension, so you need to always go back to your comprehension. So I repeat, learn your question words, know them in and out, and there will be peace. Come on, Afrikaans is not that deep. Trust me, Afrikaans is not that deep. And again, with things like, if they say gee 3 opeenvolgende woorde, so they say give 3 consecutive words. Like, even if you don't know what opeenvolgende, like, come on, opeen, like, after another, volgende, following, like, just, you know, this is my biggest tip now for Afrikaans. If you don't know anything, assume. if you don't understand what the question is asking of you, assume.
Nice.
Because like, so come on. If you don't know, assume, and then like you just might be right. And now my second tip here is that with your comprehension again, you know, when your teachers tell you to read through the questions and then go to the comprehension, and listen, these people are not lying to you. They are not lying to you. This thing actually works, because if you read the questions first, you're given that 10 minutes of reading time. You can spend 2-3 minutes of that just reading through your questions. You read them. Okay, you see the question is asking for a school, for this, for the name of the character, for this. And then you go, after reading the questions for the first time, you read now your passage. And you will find that it'll build that excitement and that confidence in you when you read that on the questions, they ask for the name of a school. And then when you check in your questions, you see the name of a school. So that's how like you get that confidence of writing Afrikaans. And now, okay, the third tip, it's not really a tip per se, but like, see, my goals in terms of Afrikaans and any other subjects, they did not allow me to read through the whole paper during the 10 minutes of reading time. So you're given 10 minutes of reading time before an examination where you can scan through the paper, see what's going on. So the goals that I had, like I was like, okay, I'm getting this particular mark, I'm getting this mark, I'm getting this mark. So like I knew, Hore, to get 95% over something that is 300 marks, then I have to only lose like, what is 7 plus 7? 14 marks. I have to lose only 14 marks. So if I read through the whole paper during the 10 minutes of reading time, and as I'm reading, I can see a question, 4 marks, hey, -4, -4. The moment that it passes 14, I'm officially stressed and I won't be able to write the whole paper with confidence. So I just read through a small portion of the paper, I scan through the rest just to see what's going on. But then also during reading time, I try to solve some questions. Like, as I said, you've read your questions, you've read the passage, and then I come back now, I'm looking at my question, I know my answer for question 1 because I saw it there, I know my answer for question 2, I saw it there. So by the time you have to start writing, you just put your answers there, you've already had time. And so yeah, the point here I'm trying to make is that you should not try to read the whole paper during reading time if you know that, like myself, you panic when you see something that doesn't look familiar. And another tip, like, guys, please don't be reading the comprehension just to finish. Read to understand. It is in the word comprehension. To comprehend is to understand. I think it is. Yeah, I'd like to assume that it is. So to comprehend is to understand. So you need to read for understanding. So if you're just reading then that's why, like, Mara, no, just read to understand, please. I'll be saying this, but you will still read to finish. But it's fine, just read to understand. And again, now, another tip is, so you see with Afrikaans paper 1, there's a summary. For most language paper 1s, I think all of them, there should be a summary. So in the summary, the problem, the most common mistake that I see people making is just summarizing the text itself, which is very wrong. Like, it's very, I'll tell you what, in the summary, when you read the thing, it'll tell you what you need to summarize. Like most of the time, the thing is in bold. Like they'll say, summarize wanneer die ing. So, you know, they're asking you to summarize when, what. So as you're summarizing your whole thing, after writing down a point, you ask yourself, have I answered that question? Let's say, for argument's sake, summarize ways in which one can learn a language faster. They give you a text with everything there. They'll mostly start with, learning a language is the most fun thing in the what. You find people taking that as a point. Does that answer the question, ways of learning language faster? No. But then you go to the next line or the next something, you see something that says, communicating with others allows you to be fluent in the language. That answers the question. It's a way to learn a language faster. So each and every time as I was writing my summaries, I would ask myself, boy, have you answered the question? If the thing is yes, then good shot. Next one. Like that. Next one. And again. When it comes to your summaries, most of the time, it's not a given, but most of the time, there is a point of, like, in the summary, they say summarize in 7 points. And they more often than usually give you 7 paragraphs. And most of the time, there's a point in each paragraph. So if all else fails, look for 1 point in each paragraph. And you'll like thank me later. And again, now, okay, this tip, this one, I feel like, yeah, this tip, listen, people, don't sleep on your language. Don't sleep on your tao. That tao is very important, I tell you, because if you know how to, like, for me, I feel like word order was the most important thing. Had I not known my word order, my Afrikaans would have been horrendous. Like, if you know the words in a sentence, like the words to link a sentence, but you don't know how to link them, then unfortunately, like, your sentence won't make sense. Like, let's say for argument's sake, you want to say, the house was built by KOKETSO. If you don't know your correct word order, the most generic mistake you would make is saying, the huis is gebou van KOKETSO, something like that. And that's where you lose marks. But then if you really invest your time in your language and you build that Afrikaans speaking essence, then you will know, Hore, like naturally, you don't even have to think about, you don't have to look, oh, what's the verb, what's the, like, just building this, because it's not a one-day thing. Afrikaans is about practice. I was told this, I didn't take it seriously, but it is about practice. The more you practice these language questions, the more you practice your comprehension, the more you practice how to write a summary, you become better and better and better still. So now, back to my example, when you want to say the house was built by KOKETSO, instead of making the mistake that I just said, then you know that in Afrikaans it is die huis is deur KOKETSO gebou. Like the word order, if you were to translate it directly into English, it won't make sense. But in Afrikaans essence, that it does make sense. So learning your word order and like mastering that essence of Afrikaans, it will make your life a lot more simple. Trust me on this one. Word order is important, and don't sleep on your tao, your language. You can't be using like boring words in your essays. You know, like when you're writing your essays and stuff, you can't be writing things like ek is mooi, ek is brain, ek is essien, ek is, no, please, uzospora. You need to have, like, even again, like, what I'll do is in my, like, even with things like more comprehension, you find that in the comprehension they're describing that something is beautiful. Then the question now is they're asking Hore, how does this character feel about the other one? How I would answer it, I wouldn't say he thinks that the person is beautiful. I would say this person thinks this guy is very beautiful, strikingly beautiful. But in Afrikaans, that's where your intensive forms come. Intensieve vorm where you like pop mooi, skreeu lelik, bloedrooi. So using those intense words, like even as a marker, I would be impressed seeing someone use such words. Like every now and then, I would add that, you know, that emphasis on a word. I wouldn't say something is mooi. I'd say it's pop mooi. I would say that's the mooiste. Jy sien mos. And again, like mastering your language will help you summarize. When it comes to your summaries, you'll be a beast at this simply because you've mastered your word order. Because now, this is again where I say word order is important, because in a summary they say, for example, you get a sentence, don't take cheap shots. So how you would write it now is cheap shots mustn't be taken. Something like that. Like you just, you know, you write it in the passive active voice. That can also help. Like just word order, Afrikaans style. I swear, you won't regret it. Timber mina. Yo, I'm giving you hacks. Yo. Come on, please, trust me. Just trust me. One step back here. Right. Stick with me, I'll make you famous. Yeah, so we have reached the end of the video. But now, again, I'm leaving now another point that I feel is very important when it comes to answering your comprehension. Right. I put this at the end for those who chose to stay until the end of the video. So, listen, with Afrikaans, the first question, the answer to the first question is in the first paragraph. The second question, the answer is not necessarily in the second paragraph. It might be, but it comes after that first question. So basically, they wouldn't ask you a question in question 1.2. Mara, the answer is in paragraph 12. Never. Come on. People, make sense of this. If the question is in the top half of your questions, the top half, it only makes sense to look for it in the top half of the text. This is Afrikaans first additional language, and that's the tip I'm telling you. Like with English home language, they can literally ask you a question in 1.4, which is towards the end, or which is somewhere. So please, and again, Afrikaans, they give you like, they like look at line 1 to 4, line 1 to, but if they don't give you such things, now I'm giving you that tip. These questions come in the same sequence as the text would come, in a sense, right? So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I thank you yet again for the number of subscribers that I have now, 350, and let's take this road to 500 subs. Thank you everyone, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you there watching the video. So yeah, and I wish you all good luck. Please listen, I dare you to come back at the end of, I don't know, this term, next term, or even the final exams of you, and just text me telling me, boy, I got the distinction. So please, otherwise Project Afrikaans must be completed by you. So tune on into the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video to your friends so that they see the tips and stuff. See, Afrikaans, I mean, come on, we can't be getting child by course. Let's child course. Otherwise, peace.